So I started MCrider about 10 years ago, and in preparation for starting MCrider, I watched a whole lot of motorcycle training videos. In fact, I watched this one probably not too long after it came out. It came out about 12 years ago. And for some reason, this video stuck in my head. And I wanted to talk about it for this week's video, so I went back. I couldn't even remember who originally did this video. But after a whole lot of research, I found it, and I found the part that I want you to watch today. And before I taint your opinion in any way, I'll let you watch this video, and we'll see what you think about this rider's advice.
When you're on the highway or on public, on like this road here, you want to stay closer to the right side of the road, just off center to the right. You don't want to be hanging out here by the double line here. Because a lot of times cars not paying attention. Maybe they're on the phone or texting or some other bullshit, and they'll sway into your lane. So what I do is I stay over here closer to the right side of the road. If I'm on the highway, I stay in the far right lane closest to the shoulder, or whatever they call that, the bailout area to the right. Because that way, if anything happens, at least you have a bailout area to the right. As where if you're in the middle of traffic on the highway, in the middle lane or the far left lane, if something happens, man, it's more likely that you're probably going to get nailed by another car if something happens. Is where if you're in the far right lane, you can bail out to the right.
So it's probably no surprise we're going to talk about lane position today. And there are some truths to the things that this writer says and a few things that I would disagree with in this video. So I broke this video down into 3 lane position tips that I'll talk with you about today. We'll discuss those tips. We'll see how they compare to the advice that our fellow writer is providing. And leave your comments below because I'd love to hear what you think about this as well. So before we get to the lane position tips, I want to give a quick update on the road strategy book that I've written and many of you have pre-ordered. Good news is it has shipped and it's supposed to get here Saturday, and that means I'll spend my weekend filling orders for you, and hopefully I can get all of those orders out on Monday if everything goes as planned. So if you've ordered that, look for a shipping email to come on Monday afternoon saying that your book is on the way. And if you haven't ordered, you can go to mcrider.com/books. I've got a new book on road strategy. You can purchase that. And if you've not purchased the field guide, you can bundle the two together, save a little bit on shipping costs and a little bit of a discount on the 2 books sold together. So go to mcrider.com/books for the details. So the first tip that I want to give you is to break the lane into 3 zones, not a single zone. There's no one perfect place to ride. When it comes to safety of riding a motorcycle compared to the safety of driving a car, there are not many times where the advantage goes to the rider on the motorcycle. But one of those advantages that a rider does have is when it comes to lane position. A car is basically stuck in their 2-wheel lane position on the road. A motorcycle's got the advantage that they can move within their lane, and they're able to split that single lane up into 3 distinct positions. And each position can be used to the rider's advantage at different times. A smart rider is going to split their lane on the road into 3 different zones. Some call those lane zones or lane positions left, center, and right. Others will refer to them as 1, 2, or 3, but they're the 3 positions within a single lane that a rider can choose from. We put ourselves at a disadvantage when we don't use these positions on the road. So here are some times when we might choose one over the other. Position 1, you'll use it most likely when you're in traffic or you want to be more visible to oncoming cars, especially when approaching intersections. You'll use position 1 when you need a better view ahead, like when you're following a vehicle. Usually by getting into position 1, you're able to see further up the road. You'll use position 1 when you're preparing to pass or overtake another vehicle, or you're on a curve that might maximize your line of sight. So let's refer back to that video that we watched earlier, and let's see how he could have used his lane position to better see through a couple of curves that he experienced on this road. So here our rider's in position 3, and it's to his advantage because he's approaching a left-hand curve, and by being in position 3, it allows him to see slightly further through that curve and makes him visible to traffic coming in the opposite direction sooner rather than it would otherwise. But now our rider is approaching a right-hand curve. He's still riding in position 3. There's no cars coming in the opposite direction, but he's cutting his view short through that curve because of his position on the road, and the vehicles traveling in the opposite direction have less time to see him because he's placed himself in that position 3 that shortens his view through the curve and shortens the view to traffic that's approaching him. So the key here is to use our lane position to our advantage. Ask yourself, how well can I see? How well can I be seen? And then put yourself and your motorcycle in the position that answers those questions in the best possible way for you on the road. So why use position number 1? Well, it increases our visibility to drivers ahead and in the oncoming lane. It helps us avoid blind spots. It puts you in a good place to react to drivers pulling out from side streets. You'll want to use caution because you want to stay away from the center line of oncoming traffic or from wide vehicles like a big truck coming in the opposite direction. You also don't want to ride too close to it in high winds or narrow lanes because of the tendency of the wind to push you over. So position number 2, when are some times you might want to use it? Let's say you're the only vehicle on the road and you want to maximize space on both sides. You can split the difference and ride right down the middle. You're going through a tight lane like construction zones. You might use position 2 if you want to appear more assertive in your lane to prevent cars from behind you trying to share your lane or pull up in your lane with you. Why you might use position 2? Well, it keeps you centered in the lane and good for straight roads. Position 2 is useful when both the left and the right positions present hazards, and it can discourage lane sharing by other vehicles. Some cautions with position number 2 on the road: it's often where oil and debris collect, especially at intersections and especially in wet conditions. You want to avoid it if traction looks questionable. So position 3, that far right that our rider in the video recommends that we use all the time on the highway. There are some times where you might want to use it, like you're riding a multi-lane road and you want to stay away from faster moving traffic. Maybe there's oncoming traffic and they're hugging the center line. You may want to move over to position 3 as you get past them. So as we demonstrated in the pictures from the video before, let's say you're entering a curve, you may use position number 3 to get better visibility around it. You're approaching a crest or a hill where oncoming traffic may drift over the line. So why would you use position 3? Well, it puts some space between you and the oncoming vehicles. It often gives you an escape route to the shoulder. It helps you manage risk when the center line feels too close. So some cautions about lane position 3. You want to watch for drivers, merging cars or parked vehicles because you're going to place yourself closer to them. And you want to be cautious near shoulders with debris or poor surface conditions on the shoulder of the road. So using these 3 lane positions rather than being stuck in a single position on a road gives a rider a big advantage. But the biggest reason to use the 3 lane positions is because what we discussed in tip number 2, it allows you to adjust for visibility and escape routes. So that's our second tip. Use the 3 lane positions to adjust for visibility and escape routes. Remember, one of our goals on the road is to see and be seen. One of the best ways we can affect that is with our following distance and our lane position. If more riders would just maintain a better following distance and use their lane position to their advantage, there would be a lot fewer crashes on the road. And that leads us to our final tip. Tip number 3, constantly reevaluate your lane position. As riders, we should constantly be reevaluating where we are on the road. Ask yourself, how well can I see up the road? How well can others see me? What's my escape route? And is the position I'm riding in putting me in a blind spot? There is no single lane position that puts the rider in the best position at all times. We should constantly be evaluating our lane position in order to put ourselves in the best possible situation. To not do so means we're giving up one of our biggest advantages on the road, and we're a whole lot less safe as a rider by doing so. Till next week, guys, this is Kevin with MCrider, and I'll see you on the road. If you enjoyed this video, please consider becoming a member of MCrider. You get access to the forums and the field guide and a whole lot more, All the details can be found at mcrider.com/member.